Here is a list of some of the expressions we use with the word make with examples. To make an attempt. This expression means to try. For example, they made a last attempt to cross the river, but the floodwaters were so high that it would have been dangerous to try and get to the other side. To make certain. This means to find out, to be sure about something. For example, I'm just calling to make certain you'll be home this afternoon as I'm going to drop off the keys. To make a complaint. This means to express dissatisfaction about something, such as bad service in a restaurant. For example, I'd like to see the manager, please. I'd like to make a complaint about the food. It was stone cold when the waiter brought it to the table. To make a confession. This means that you publicly own up to something that you have done wrong and are acknowledging that you were at fault. For example, I have to make a confession. I've seen that film before, but I really enjoyed watching it a second time. To make a date. This means to arrange a social appointment or meeting. For example, I haven't got my diary with me at the moment, but let's make a date for sometime next week. I'll call you when I get home to finalise where and when we'll meet. To make a difference. This means to have a significant effect on someone or a situation. For example, doing some research on the internet before you buy a new computer makes all the difference. You can save hundreds of pounds by spending a few minutes looking at all the different outlets online. To make an effort. This means to attempt to do something, maybe that you find difficult. For example, I know this question is hard, but try to make an effort. I'm sure you'll succeed. To make an error. This means to make a mistake. For example, I thought I'd recognize the robber, but on reflection, I believe I've made an error. The man I saw was much shorter. To make an exception. This means to take a different action from your normal practice on one occasion only. For example, I don't usually allow colleagues to leave early, but since your business in the hospital is urgent, I'm prepared to make an exception this time. To make a fool of yourself. This means you are behaving in an inappropriate or incompetent way that makes you look stupid. For example, I tried to improvise in the meeting, but I hadn't really done my research properly, resulting in me making a fool of myself. To make a fortune. This means you make lots of money, you earn a lot of money. You will hear this expression used with the adjective small. Ironically, a small fortune actually means a lot of money. For example, they sold their villa in the south of France that they bought when property prices were relatively cheap for a small fortune. They're now trying to find a house in Paris. To make an impression on someone. This means that you have a strong effect on someone. Whatever you do impresses them. For example, when he visited his fiancée's parents' house, he was aware that he really had to make a strong impression on them if he had any chance of being accepted as a son-in-law. To make a loss. This means not making a profit in a business and actually losing money. We talk about a loss-making activity. This is something that you may engage in, but will not actually benefit you financially. Some business people engage in loss-making activities in order to promote their more profitable areas. This is just a short representation of all the possible uses of the verbs make and do. I'll now introduce you to some phrasal verbs that use the verb make. To make for. This phrasal verb has two principal distinct uses. It can be used to signify deliberately moving towards a precise location. For example, not knowing how to get out of a forest, the lost traveller made for the sunlight on the horizon in the hope that it would lead him back to civilization. It can also be used to explain how something can help to achieve something, to make something possible. A session in the gym can make for a way of unwinding after a stressful day at the office. To make it up to someone. We use this phrasal verb to express how we intend to do something helpful for someone whom we have hurt or wronged. For example, I'm sorry I am late. I had some important calls to make from the office. Let me make it up to you. Let's go for a meal. My treat. To make of something. This phrasal verb can be used to express different ideas. Firstly, we can use it to express an opinion of someone or something. For example, what do you make of the new plans to work from home? We can also use it to convey the meaning of using an opportunity to gain success. For example, life is what you make of it. You have to take the chances that arise and not regret your failures. To make off means to abscond or to run away. For example, the bully stole the boy's watch and made off for home without looking back. If we want to refer to someone having stolen something, we can say, the thief made off with countless pieces of jewellery and watches from the shop, having smashed the window at about 2 a.m. To make out has several meanings. It can be used to distinguish someone or something, possibly from a distance. For example, can you make out the shoreline? I'm sure we must be nearing land soon. Or, when reading something, can you make the figures out that they've written? Their handwriting is not very clear. You can make out a cheque or payment to someone. For example, please make out the cheque to First Star Rentals. This means that we write the name of the company on the cheque we intend to pay.
Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. Don't forget to pass it on, place a like, and turn on your notifications.